Good morning, traders. This is a live trade recap. I took 3 trades this morning, all between 9:30 and 10 a.m. I have everything on video. I'm going to show you everything that happened right now. This is a new market open strategy and plan that I'm trading. I released a video about it on Sunday, so you can check that out if you want to see the details. But basically, the goal is after 100 trades, I want to see a better than 33% win rate. Why so low? Because I'm trading all or nothing 2R. So whatever my risk is, my profit target is 2 times that risk. So I only need a win rate of 33% to break even. Anything better than that is profitable. If I take 10 trades and 4 of them win, I'm profitable. All right. So as always, I start with Webull on the Markets tab. Click on Top Gainers, 1 day, then all. I organize the list by volume. I'm only interested in the top 10 stocks. They must also be trading above $1, and they must be a float size of 110 million shares or less. So let's take a look at the video now, and you can see in the beginning I started out just like I said I did, or that I do, and this is just me putting together my watch list, and you'll see a lot of these stocks kind of come and go off the watch list. I have that screener open on my laptop, so the entire time that I'm watching these stocks, I don't miss any entries or anything like that. I can keep an eye on the screener on my laptop and keep this watch list view open. So you can see RHE, that was one of the stocks that was in suspension. So it automatically goes on my list whether it's in the top 10 or not. I believe it was in the top 10. And it broke out through its previous day high. So as soon as it comes out of suspension, if it goes into a pullback, then I can get in for the next high. AHT also, is also trading above the previous high, and so is PRPO. That one was also in suspension. So right now, again, waiting for the pullback on those. So I can't enter here because it's not a pullback yet. This candle has to finish closing. You can see there was a little glitch there. It went from 1041 to 1021. But when these things come out of suspension, kind of anything goes. So here is actually the first entry, and I missed it, is for the break of that first red candle. And what was happening was I was looking at AHT because it was also possibly giving me an entry. I went to trigger my hotkeys to get into AHT, and after I restarted Webull, I forgot to unlock it. So I kind of missed it, but the price was coming right back down to where my entry was, and I triggered them anyway. But again, this was another one just like on Friday where I didn't realize till after the fact that this was a false entry. Again, I'm supposed to wait for the pullback and then the first 1 minute candle that makes a new high. Here, this thing poked out through the previous high, and then on the next candle, I got in for the break of that candle instead of waiting for the pullback. And this trade ended up working out luckily, but it was an errored entry on my part, and I'll show you kind of what I did to fix it a little bit later on. And they're not always fixable, but this one I got kind of lucky on. So, but I got to be careful with this stuff, and I'm gonna blame the fact that I have to watch so many stocks at one time. And I know that you might argue that, well, why are you looking at so many stocks? Just focus on one. Well, because even if your win rate is just better than 33%, then the only way you're going to be profitable is if you're taking multiple trades that meet your setup and your criteria, because you're kind of assuming that more often than not, they're going to fail. So right now my win rate is right around 50%. So, you have to take a decent number of trades for this system to work out. There really aren't any setups that are high probability as far as guaranteed to win more often than not. At least in my experience, I have not seen that yet. I've been doing this for a year. No matter how strict I make my criteria, just not seeing that. So the all or nothing 2R is the way you make up for that difference. You can be less than 50% as far as your win rate and still be profitable. So now RHE, let's see. So actually, it looks like I didn't miss the entry. Let me just go back a little bit. Oh, I guess it's because of that second candle glitch there. So no, I didn't miss the entry yet. All right, let's take a look. Let's keep going. So here we go. So this is the first possible entry now that the candles have kind of stabilized and settled down. This candle needs to break the high of this one. If it does, then I can get in, and I think that's exactly what happens here. Let me just get to where I was hovering over that candle so I can show you exactly the price that I'm looking for. It's coming up real quick here. There. Okay, so I'm hovering over that candle. So the high of that candle is 1031. I need to see 1032 or better in this little price bubble. As soon as I see that, I trigger my hotkeys to get in. It comes up in just a moment. This one's also about to trigger an entry, so it's a lot going on. So I said 1032 or better. So watch this. There's 1031. There it goes. It went up to like 1034, 1038. So I have to trigger my hotkeys, and I get filled at 1034. And my stop loss becomes the low of this candle. The low of it was 959. I always go a little bit lower. If it's a very cheap stock, I go about 1 cent lower. This is like a $10 stock, so I went about 10 cents lower. The 949 level, that made a lot of sense because 950 could be a support that it bounces off of. So that's why I did that. And then I used that to calculate my profit target. I started to go up closer and I said, no, that's, a stock of this price, that's a little bit tight. So I went to 949, and then you could see me using my 2-hour calculator, which you can download for free off of the Facebook trading group by the same name, Trading Armor. And there's my profit target, 1204. So now I move my profit target in place, and then this trade is basically done on my end. I don't have to do anything now. These are bracket orders, and whichever one of these gets hit first will cancel the other one, and I'm done. This trade takes care of itself. So here's PRPO. I got in basically where I wanted to for the break of that candle. And then I moved my stop loss to 219. So just like, I think 2 cents lower than the bottom of this candle. Again, just because it makes sense. 220 might be a kind of a psychological support level that this bounces off of. So again, use the 2-hour calculator there. I've got my profit target in place. So right now I've got 3 trades going. It's about 9:39, and everything is kind of set up. And I was keeping an eye on the screener after this, and there wasn't really a lot of stuff that was popping up. I did pull up a few more stocks, but nothing met my criteria to take an entry. Here I'm going back and checking on the stocks that I already had up. You can see nothing was trading above the previous high. FAMI was too cheap. It was trading below $1, so I got rid of that. And yeah, so that's it. So now it's just kind of a watching and waiting, and I'm keeping an eye on that screener to look for new stocks. RHE went back into suspension after hitting 1120. Just fast forwarding here. So DGLY popped up, and this one would have been a good trade. It would have been an easy 2-hour trade, but I missed the entry. And once I miss it, if it's already hit my profit target, then I can no longer take an entry. And it looks like, so from here to here is 190 to 195. So I think my entry probably would have been, we'll say like 193, because you can see that this thing made new highs here, and then it pulled back. And my entry would be for the break of a 1-minute candle. That didn't happen till right here. Let's assume I got in at like 193, and then the low, this would have been a very kind of low risk and low profit trade. 193, and the stop loss would have been 189. So we'll use the 2-hour calculator, and we'll see that the profit target was already hit. 193, 189. The profit target would have been 201. So yeah, it already hit my profit target. So there's no way I could have entered this trade, but that would have been a successful 2-hour trade had I not missed the entry. But since I did miss the entry, you'll see that I removed it from the watch list because I don't want to get FOMO or be tempted to try to take a trade on the next possible entry. And I think at that point, okay, so let's see, I just passed it. Here it is. Okay, so you can see that I just was notified that my RHE trade worked out. It hit the profit target of 1204, so it automatically cancels the stop loss for me. You'll see that pop up as well. Order canceled notice, right? So that's what I mean by everything is automated. You don't have to worry. You're not going to have a stop loss, out there or anything like that. So at this point, I'm green on the day. And but my plan and my strategy says that if I have trades already going, I have to let them play out. Okay, so at this point, I realized what I had done earlier. I actually kind of realized, I was looking at this thinking, what was the trade here? Because my stop loss was really low and it didn't make sense because obviously the new high was over here after it broke out through the previous day's high. So my entry should have been for the break of this candle here, and the stop loss would have been just below this candle. And I noticed my stop loss was way lower. So I just, realized that, okay, something wasn't right here. So I adjusted my stop loss to the appropriate level, and I used my 2-hour calculator to come up with my new profit target, which was 337. So I moved my profit target to the appropriate level. This one I was checking again too to make sure I did everything right, and everything looked okay over here, so I left it as is. And PRPO just stopped me out right there. I'll just let you see it hit my stop loss. There we go. 219. You can see it was like flushing down really hard, so I got 1 cent slippage. That's going to happen. And it doesn't really matter really what your broker is. If the stock is flushing like that, you're going to get slippage. You can have the best broker, the fastest broker, and you're still going to get slippage. Maybe a little bit less, maybe not. Okay, so here AHT is about to hit my profit target. Let's see if I got that on. I think I did get that on video. So they were at 336. It has to hit 337. And this is a limit order, so that means the ask. I'm sorry, the bid has to hit 337. There. So you can see the bid hit 337. That's where the buyers are, and you're trying to sell, so you're selling to the buyers. And I got filled at 337, and then it canceled my stop loss. So 2 out of the 3 trades worked, so that's a 67% win rate, which is obviously way above 33%. Only by 1 trade for the day. So, I mean, you could argue that, well, if one of those trades didn't work out, I would have been at my break-even level as far as win rate, and that's absolutely true. And that's why, you have to do this many times, at least 100 trades before you know if something like this possibly works. Because even after 100 trades, there's still a chance that it's not going to work in the long run. So my idea is, let's get this to 100 trades, then 100 days, or 1,000 trades, kind of whichever comes first, and then we'll really know if this is profitable in the long run. So here is my spreadsheet. I've already entered everything in. So the buying power is now up to 675.24. This isn't really that important because these are test trades with 1 share. So I'm not trying to make money here. I'm just trying to get the win rate data that I need, and right now the average win rate is 49.3%. Even with a day on Friday where I lost every trade and ended up with a 0% win rate, so obviously that's going to bring the average way down, but I'm still way above break even. This is just an average based on the sum of all of these days. And then if I sum up all the trades and calculate the average, I'm at 47.62. So here you can see that's just, I won 10 trades out of 21. And this one, like I said, is the average of all those other trades. So the fact that these 2 numbers are very close is a good thing. And my win rate without any errors is 50%. Again, it's very close to my average win rate and my actual win rate. So all of those numbers close together, that's what we want to see. That means that I'm doing things more or less properly. I'm not making many mistakes. And then, as I told you before, I just border out all of the trades in red that were errored entries. So here I had 2 errored entries that were red. All this stuff needs to be red. That was a mistake on my part. There we go. And back here, this was a green trade, but it was an errored entry, so it still gets marked in red. And that's it. Those are all the trades so far since I've started trading this plan. Today was just 3 trades. So let me know if you have any questions about these trades or any others. And as always take your stop losses no matter what, honor your profit target, and in the long run, you should be green. Take care.